I wasn't supposed to be there that morning. I was 22, a rookie, 6 months on the force. My beat was a stretch of the immigrant quarter where people still slept with their windows open and trusted the night breeze to keep them safe. The kind of neighborhood where arguments drifted through the walls and bread ovens started warming before sunrise. Familiar, human. It's the New Orleans I grew up in. Nothing could prepare you for real darkness, though. If someone had told me the devil moved in while you were learning how to write reports, I might have believed them sooner. But nobody warned me. Not until I stepped into the Maggio house at dawn. And the first thing I remember was the smell. Not blood. Everyone says blood, but they've never stood inside a room where life is just emptied out. Real death smells layered, metal on top, but beneath it is something sour, spoiled, wrong. Like milk left out overnight in August. Like childhood turned inside out. It clung to the back of my throat so hard I could taste it for months afterward, long after the case files were boxed and shut. My boots sank into the rug. Catherine lay on the bed, her throat so deep and dark it looked like a hole that night itself was crawling through. Joseph was worse. His skull open like a door someone forgot to close. Their own axe leaned against the wall, still wet. I remember how gently it rested there, almost polite, like the killer had set it down to avoid waking someone. The sergeant whispered, "Look at the back door." A panel, cleanly removed, no splintering, no forced entry, just a square of absence where safety used to be. I remember thinking, if someone wants inside your home badly enough, locks are just suggestions. It was my first murder scene. My hand shook a week afterward. Not from what I saw, but from how quiet it all was. How easy it had all been. 2 weeks later, another house, another grocer, another family cut down in their beds, another wooden panel lifted neatly from the back door, another axe abandoned like a calling card. And the city changed overnight. People didn't walk home after dark anymore. They hurried, they whispered, they kept their children close. Even the older ones used to run bare feet through the alleys, no longer did. Lamps stayed on until they burned out. Mothers started sleeping in chairs facing the doors, fingers twitching toward kitchen knives. Fear moved in like humidity, invisible, heavy, inescapable. I patrolled the streets because it felt safer than trying to drift off in my own bed, wondering if someone stood outside my door steadying their grip on my axe. At night, fog came in from the river so thick it swallowed whole streets. Gas lamps blurred into halos. You'd hear a hammer in the distance and swear it was a bone splitting open. You'd see a shutter shift and brace for footsteps. Rookies aren't supposed to drink on duty. A lot of us did anyway. Anything to blur the edges of silence. Then came the Schneider woman, 8 months pregnant, attacked in her sleep. Her head split open, but somehow impossibly she lived. 2 days later, she gave birth. A crying newborn held above a city full of screams and sleepless nights. People called it a miracle. I called it a warning. That was the moment I knew we weren't hunting a burglar. Burglars take things. They want what you own. This man wanted where you slept. He wanted your quiet, your unguarded breath, the moment before your mind returns to your body. He wanted inside. Then the letter arrived. March 13th, 1919. The Times Picayune prints a letter from the killer himself. I read it at my desk, and my hands went cold. It read, "They have never caught me, and they never will. When I see fit, I shall come again and claim victims. But I am fond of jazz, and I swear by all the devils in hell, those in whose homes a jazz band is playing will be spared." I don't know if you can even imagine what that did to the city. Every bar, every parlor, every cramped shotgun house, music blasting. Pianos dragged onto porches, children banging pots, couples dancing through the tears, trumpets shrieking like they were begging for mercy. It was beautiful and terrified and desperate. And that night, nobody died. But afterward, the silence felt like a threat, like holding your breath and waiting for something to decide whether you deserve to keep it. We questioned everyone, drunks, drifters, grocers who looked at the ground too long. One man, Joseph Mumphrey, seemed promising, but nothing held, nothing matched. Every lead dissolved like sugar in hot coffee. It was like trying to arrest a shadow. Every scene told the same story. Wooden panel removed, axe left behind, family butchered. Nothing stolen, no fingerprints, no witnesses. I kept seeing him, or convincing myself that I did, a tall silhouette slipping around corners, always just outside the lamplight. Once I chased one, boots hitting puddles, breath ahead of me, turned the corner, nothing. Just the smell of oil and the creak of a loose door swinging. I started checking every house on my beat twice, sometimes 3 times. People asked me, "Can we sleep now?" And I said, "Leave the light on anyway." But the truth was, no light could keep him out, because he never needed to break your door. Just lift a panel, like peeling back skin. By summer, the quarter wasn't a place, it was a sound. Shaking shutters, low radios, men loading guns, women whispering prayers, children sobbing because their parents were too afraid to pretend anymore. Fear doesn't look the way you think. It doesn't scream. It waits. It rehearses your name in the dark and listens for when you're most breakable. And the city was waiting for a sound we all dreaded. That soft wooden creak as a back door panel shifted in the dark. October 27th, 1919, Ursulines Avenue, Mike Pepitone. His wife said she saw 2 figures running off, tall shapes, shadowy, slipping away in the dark. Inside, same scene, same smell, same weapon. Then, nothing. No more bodies, no more panels, no more jazz threats. The Axeman simply stopped. People said he left, or died, or the music scared him off. But I've lived here long enough to know better. Silence doesn't mean safety. Silence doesn't mean breathing room. 30 years later, I still walk those streets. I still see warm light spilling from shotgun houses, same as back then. People play jazz now because they love it, or maybe because some part of them remembers the night it saved their lives. But when I lie in bed, when the river wind rattles the shutters just right, when the boards flex and sigh in the humidity, I hear it again. That soft wooden creak, the exact sound a loosened panel makes when someone eases it inward. And I remembered the smell, that mix of copper and spoiled milk. I remember the shadows slipping away. I remember the taste of the city's fear, how it settled into the bones of every child born that year. People say no one was ever killed after that. And maybe they're right. But ask anyone who's lived here long enough. You stop wondering if the devil's real. You start wondering how long he sleeps. And you listen for the creak of a door in the middle of the night. Because hell, it doesn't knock. It lets itself in.